each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Good. Good, because I need some therapy. Good old Tuesday therapy day for Dion. It's a good start. All right. And I think I'm just emotionally overdrawn this week already. Yesterday was kind of rough, man. I had a lot to do. Anyway, we got through it. Hopefully you saw Monty Man's take 12 video. It's come out really well. We get along pretty good. It's a lot of, it's part funny, part serious, part, yeah. All right. I even reached out to Monty Man yesterday. I said, and I'm like, hey, man, is there anything else that I can do? I want to make sure I wasn't making any mistakes because radio is a little different than podcasting. You got to kind of wait your turn to talk and it can get pretty, and get kind of vehement sometimes, right? But there's a pace to it. There's a rhythm to doing the radio portion and how much time you spend on each thing and stuff like that. It's mapped out, it's formatted, things like that. Where a podcast is a lot more willy-nilly. But so I reached out to him and asked, hey, is there anything? And he's like, no, you're good, man. You're a great co-host. He didn't have anything for me. He's like, I just hope you want to be a little bit more permanent. And I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere. Nope. God leads us to these things. It's about taking direction. So I have a lot of same views as Roger and Monty Man, but not so dissimilar or not so similar that we can't have debates or arguments. There's got to be a little drama in it. Keeps people there. Morning, Michelle. Good morning, Amber. Good to see you both. Michelle caught the take 12. It turned out good. I'm glad you liked it. I'm just trying to get more stuff out there to help more people. If we can do that, then I'm going to do it. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. I thought I missed a meeting with West Pines this morning, but it was moved to another day. They're not sending anything. They're not replying. And yeah. Okay. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. We all know I do a lot of advocating, right? So Amber says it's good to be retired. You mean tired? Who's retired? We're being the 12 by 12. We are doing today's daily reflection, but I'm not going to go along the lines of listening deeply. I'm going to go more along the lines of we alcoholics need direction in our lives. There's one thing that I say, and I believe it to be true. I really do. An alcoholic without accountability will do the wrong thing, even with the best of intentions. I've done it. I've done it recently. It's happened. Okay. It's a balance of listening to that intuition, right? Right. Amber says, you folks with time do podcasts. I'm going to consider you older folks retired. I don't know if you know it, but you're pressing a button for me. People think that I have all this time on my hands. It's a misnomer about me. You want to know why I have time on my hands? Well, my children are grown. I do have more time on my hands than Amber. Yeah, I do. But I didn't always. I didn't always have that kind of time. And you get good at stuff. I can do in 2 hours what might take you 6. Right? I dare anybody to do what I do. I double dang dare you. Sorry, I just felt a little need to defend myself just a little bit without getting angry. See? Right? Besides, we're joshing around here. We're just joshing. Tongue in cheek. Tongue in cheek. All right. Might be time for some Rule 62. Please don't take yourself too darn seriously. Let's get to paid. Yeah, no, I wasn't always retired, and I ain't retired now. I'm 54. I'm not at retirement age. I love you too, honey. Thanks for bringing a sense of humor here. I think we need that. Yeah. All right, so we're going to start in the middle of page 36 for anybody that would like to follow along. I'm surprised that people don't give me more crap about this shirt. It's a Jimi Hendrix shirt. He did a lot of drugs, man. He did a lot of drugs and stuff. In fact, he died of alcohol poisoning. He died by asphyxiation. I was born the same day he died. That's why I like Jimi Hendrix so much. He's been dead almost 55 years. How do I know? Because I'll be 55 this year. Morning, Heather. Yeah, we got some sticks, huh? Got too much time on my hands. Sticks is one of the bands that I warm up my voice to before I do this. Not today, but he goes up and down. He has these little fluctuations in his voice that help me kind of get my vibration going. So I actually use sticks quite a lot. Amber says, I'm jelly that I don't have time for shit yet. It'll come to you. Retirement age should be 45, says people in my family died before 60. I don't disagree with you. I don't. I've always had a hard time holding a job. Drinking or not, I've always had a hard time. It has to do with my PTSD. It's very, very tough for me. So I've had to go a different route. So I do a shit ton of service work. If other people can get Adams County to flip $3 million for a new detox, good, then go do it, man. All right. No, enough bragging. That's just bragging. Bad me. Enough bragging. That's just ego shit. Let's get past it. All right, let's examine for a moment this idea of dependence at everyday living. In this area, it is startling to discover how dependent we really are and how unconscious of that dependence. Do you control the internet in your house? If you do, when it goes down, suddenly you're the most popular person in the room, aren't you? My cat's moving my chair around because he keeps rubbing up against it. All right, move it back here. All right. Your electricity goes out. You'll still try and use the microwave. You'll walk into the bathroom and turn on. It's muscle memory. But look and then you're reminded again. Oh, great. And if you're a good alcoholic like me, the first thing you do when the power go out is go out and make sure there's not a lock on your thing. The first thing you do is make sure it's not the bill, right? God, the cats are very needy this morning. I fed you guys. I don't feed my cats like other people do. I do free feeding. If you think I'm getting up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to feed a fucking cat, you can forget it. I will knock their head off. But my kitties love me. Yes, they do. Yes. All right. So this everyday dependence that we have, that we rely upon. I gave you 2. You ever gone outside and your car's no longer there because somebody stole it? It's happened to me. I had this piece of shit car. Okay, I had this Toyota Corolla, did 0 to 60 in about an hour. I came out one day and it was a piece of shit car. It was just I bought it for like $400. I'm sure everything in it was just, So I had a but somebody stole my piece of shit car, right? And I was laughing. I'm like, well, thank God they did it in the middle of the night, because if they did it in the day, I would have caught them in 2 minutes, because they wouldn't have made it down the road. That was just an easy car to steal, right? So, yep, it's happened to me before. I've had my car stolen. I did get it back. I never got the chance to press charges or anything else. That he did leave his tools in my trunk, so I got something out of it. What he missed was the very expensive laptop underneath the seat. That was my niece's, so she got that back. All right. So every modern house has electric wiring carrying power and light to its interior. We are delighted with this dependence. Our main hope is that nothing will ever cut off the supply of current. Why? Because then your life becomes a little bit more powerless. Because then you're powerless. Get it? Because you don't have any power. Electricity power. Oh, what a horrible dad joke. By so accepting our dependence upon this marvel of science, we find ourselves more independent personally. Not only are we more independent, we are even more comfortable and secure. Power flows where it's needed, silently and surely. Electricity, that strange energy so few people understand, meets our simplest daily needs and our most desperate ones too. As the polio sufferer confined to an iron lung who depends with complete trust upon a motor to keep breath of life in him. Ah. So, what is this about? Well, it's about security. It's about feeling secure, right? Shells, I'm goofy. Go you. Well, Mickey. Been a while since I. Well, we can go you. That's about as close as I can get right now without practicing. All right. So, what do you do when your house goes out? Well, let's say the power goes out in your house. What are you going to do? Well, depending on whether, you live in the Stone Age or whether you're nowadays. I've got a little lamp right there. Little camping lamp. You just lift it and, get a little bit of light. Got flashlight. You got flashlight on your phone, but don't use your phone because you don't wear out the battery in that. All right. Where are you going to charge it at? You can go out to your car, you can charge it there, but eventually you're going to run out of gas, and then that's not going to work. You'd always buy a UPS, uninterrupted power supply. What it does, it charges. It's a battery that charges, give you a couple hours of being able to do stuff. Don't open your fridge. Keep your fridge closed if you can, especially your freezer, right? Look at all this extra stuff you got to do just because the power went out. Yep, you have to wipe your butt in the dark. Right? Even the little inconveniences. Oh, there's no toilet paper in here. Another convenience that we use. We use a lot of conveniences. I'm going to tell you something. Okay? The more convenient you make your life, like turning on your car, starting your car from 50 feet away, the more dependent you are upon other people, the less freedom you have. But if you learn how to cook and sew and grow your own food and learn how to fix your own car and fix your own roof, the more dependent you are. Gosh, I guess I am covering daily reflection a lot more than what I was. Oh, I'm not doing too bad considering I have a cat trying to lick my hand. He giving me kisses. Now I think he's asleep. So, but the moment our mental or emotional independence is in question, how differently we behave. Oh, when we get confronted with something that we're doing wrong that we don't want to admit. Ow, dude. No nails. You know the deal. Fine. I'll put my hand on you. All right. How persistent we claim the right to decide all by ourselves just what we shall think and just how we shall act. Ooh. You know, my life is pretty shitty when I do that. I get into a lot more arguments. I find myself defending myself more. I find myself pointing the finger at people. All right. Yesterday, something kind of happened. I'm not going to go into specifics. And I kept my damn mouth shut. And I'm glad I did, because I still needed some direction from God first. If I would have went with my initial reaction, it would have been wrong. And it would have made things worse. And what is that? Well, that's my brain trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, making it bigger than it needs to be. I need to think about my part in it first. Because I felt the need to defend myself. Do I have my own stuff in it? Yes. It turns out I do. Well, now it's going to be a different conversation. Right? Because in that moment, I decided, no, Dion, we're going to keep our mouth shut. We don't have the right answer right now. Aside from the fact that I was really fucking hungry. So I'm like, I'm keeping my mouth shut at least until I eat. Then I can maybe make some decisions. Thinking before I act. Remember the saying, look before you leap? There you go. Think before you act. Or think and then don't act. Right? That Dion all by himself, because he is the alpha omega, gets to decide, make every single decision that comes across his plate. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the fact that this is a we program. Okay. You might hear the voice of God at some point. There's some people that say they have. I don't disbelieve them, but I also understand alcoholic dementia. When I was detoxing, there were people talking to me too, but they weren't there. Not like overgrown psychosis. I didn't see people, but I heard them. I heard them talking. Still happens to me every now and again. I'll hear somebody call my name or something. Right? That's not God talking to me. That's just stuff going on. Right? So when I ask God for direction, after that, I can't just, oh, God, can I have some direction and then do nothing? You've got to put some action into life, even if it's taking out the trash. Doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe go help another person. I have found that when I ask God for direction and I go help another person, the answer, because usually then I have to go to the big book, right? And since the big book has all the answers, I end up getting my answer because I helped another person. Sometimes it'll come out of the mouth of somebody I do not like. And I'm still going to do it. Because I believe that God talks through his children. He does it with me. No, I don't hear him talking, but he gives me the words here. How often have you guys asked me a question here? I'm like, what did I say? I'm like, because half time I don't remember what I say here. And I don't go back and listen to them either. Nah. I've never listened to one of my podcasts. I find that egotistical. Not only that, but I'm judgmental. And if I'm going to be judgmental of anybody, it'll be me. Then you won't get the raw recovery that you so enjoy. Right? Amber has a generator. Yeah, you live in the boonies. You better have a generator. God doesn't have time to talk to us. He's got kids to do his work. Yeah, he's too busy. He's not retired like me. He doesn't have time to do podcasting. No. I like how that joke led into the earlier one. Hey, if we can't have fun here and laugh at ourselves, man. See, that's when you got it going on. When you can laugh at your own silliness. Yeah. Right. But it says here, oh yes, we will weigh the pros and cons of every problem. Look at me weighing the pros and cons. All right. We'll listen politely to those who would advise us, but all the decisions are to be ours alone. Nobody is going to meddle with our personal independence in such matters. Oh yeah. You think you have control over the electricity going into your home? You really think you have control over that? You think you have control over the cell tower down the street that just got knocked out? You think you could control that? No. And I still love that powerless joke I made. I'm still not kind of chuckling about that one. When your electricity goes out, you might feel powerless. That's a good one. Hold on, I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Good job, Dion. So some more ego into this. Let's do it. Right. Besides, we think there is no one we can surely trust. Oh, and that's the slap in the face. So here's the thing. I had to get to a point where I could start to trust my intuition, right? My my higher power has a love language, and that love language is trust. And the more trust I put in my higher power, the more courage I seem to receive. It's a give and take relationship, like all of my other relationships, right? But my guidance sucks. If it comes from Dion alone, it's incomplete. I'm neither the alpha nor the omega. I might have some answers, you know, to certain things. Okay. But when I'm making decisions, it's usually best to, you know, and here comes the line again. Any alcoholic without accountability is making the wrong decision, even with the best of intentions. It's a hard one to accept, but once you accept it, your life will get better. Mine did. It's exactly what happened. We are certain that our intelligence, backed by willpower, can rightly control our inner lives and guarantee us success in the world we live in. God, how conceited. How conceited. This brave philosophy wherein each man plays God sounds good in the speaking, but it still has to meet the acid test. How well does it actually work? One good look in the mirror ought to be answer enough for any alcoholic. Go look at social media, and this is exactly what you will see. Each person playing God. And gosh, it's easy to play God when you can hide. When you can hide behind your camera, when you can hide behind your IP address and everything else. Gosh, you know, people get a lot more brave. Brave in this case is not okay. But if that was to happen face to face, they'd probably shut down. They might, not always. It's one of the things that this world is kind of missing now is human connection. Right? Don't jump on the division bandwagon. And I see it all the time. I fall into the trap too. You know, on subjects that are near and dear to me, like alcoholism, homelessness, that kind of stuff. You know, should his own image in the mirror be too awful to contemplate? And it usually is. He might first take a look at the results normal people are getting with self sufficiency. Everywhere he sees people filled with anger and fear, society breaking into warring fragments. Each fragment says to the others, we are right and you are wrong. And when we get to that point, gosh, it seems like a human being will pull out anything to be right, even if it's the wrong thing to do. There's a thing, it's called the Abilene effect. And it's where a group of people, and it happens all the darn time. I've seen it happen in AA meetings and group consciousness, where people will vote according to popularity rather than what is right, because they don't want to be subjugated to the bullshit that goes with opposing it. Welcome to my world. All right. Now, that would be a bad example. All right. Now, let's kind of reverse this. Look at the great job you did with self-sufficiency. Step 1. How well did you do it self-sufficient? Now we get sober and suddenly that's on the table again. Well, you think you're working with a different mind. No, until you do some work, you still got the mind of an alcoholic. Does Dion have a mind of an alcoholic? Yes, he does. Okay. But I don't go to, there's a part in the big book that says there's something that is unthinking, that they still have the mind of an alcoholic. Do I still have the mind of an alcoholic? Sure, my brain almost always wants the easier, softer way. Yeah, sure it does. I still tend to react sometimes, not as much. You know, I don't react like I used to, but every now and again, I find myself reacting, and you know, and thank God for the 10 steps, so I take care of it and move on. All right. Every such pressure group, if it is strong enough, self-righteously imposes its will upon the rest. And everywhere the same is being done on an individual basis. The sum of all this mighty effort is less peace and less brotherhood than before. The philosophy of self-sufficiency is not paying off. Plainly enough, it is a bone-crushing juggernaut whose final achievement is ruin. Yeah. I watch it. I watch it happen all the time. See, Dion needed a new set of morals. He needed a new set of values. He needed a new set of principles in which to live by. I did. I needed a new set because the set I was utilizing wasn't working. It wasn't working for me, and I was hurting everybody around me. Now, I've taken that and I've done a 180. Now, for the most part, I'm making things better, or at least trying. And I do that through the direction of my higher power, my AA home group, and several closed-mouth friends who are willing to listen to me whine about what's going on at the moment so it doesn't turn into a resentment. Yeah. And therapy, which is today. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah. Thank God for therapy. All right, let's do today's daily reflection. I'm going to do a little bit of repeating here. Listening deeply, how persistently we claim the right to decide all by ourselves just what we shall think and just how we shall act. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 37. But you already knew that, didn't you? All right. If I accept and act upon the advice of those who have made the program work for themselves, I have a chance to outgrow the limits of the past. Yeah, you do. Yeah. You are being limited. Alcohol was limiting you. Your brain was limiting you. Oh, you're stupid. You're dumb. You're no good. You did this brain talk, right? Hey, you know what I'm talking about. Those things start to disappear. So now you can break free of that. In sales, we would call this thinking outside the box. I was in sales when that term came out. And I'm going to tell you, from the moment I heard it, this is what I had to say. Why the fuck did you put yourself in a box? Why are you boxing yourself in? Are you stupid? Think outside the box. That cardboard box is my home, dude. What are you talking about? Stop living in the box, man. Okay? Stop living in your own personal Hotel California, which is a mental and emotional jail. All right. I have a chance to outgrow it. Some problems will shrink to nothingness, while others may require patient, well thought out action. Listening deeply when others share can develop intuition in handling problems which arise unexpectedly. Now, I'm going to use you spot it, you got it, but I'm going to use it in a different way. Have you ever done this? I like what that person has. Gosh, it's awfully familiar. I'm doing it too. See, you spot it, you got it, works both ways. When you start seeing the beauty of this world, do you know what you become? Beautiful. You become a part of that beauty. If you want to burn the world down, then that's what you will become a part of. If you see ugly, then you will become ugly yourself. That's the way it seems. Maybe not to the extremes that we used to, but that will determine the outcome. There are outcomes, there are consequences to every action. Not all of them are bad. In fact, I get a lot of great consequences nowadays. Scratchy the back. It is usually best for me to avoid impetuous action. That means right away. Unless it's a 10th step and you need to, but you know what they're saying in this situation, right? Attending a meeting or calling a fellow AA member will usually reduce tension enough to bring relief to desperate sufferer like me. Sharing problems at meetings with other alcoholics to whom I relate or privately with my sponsor can change the aspects of positions in which I find myself, right? Heather says, same Tuesday self-care day, need my therapy appointments. And every day self-care day for me, man. I take time for me every day. It's part of being retired. You get to lollygag the night away. Right. Getting it off your chest is a great way. If it's going to make you drink or hurt somebody, to me, that is a valid AA topic. I stubbed my toe this morning. I want to drink. Valid. Okay. That doesn't mean we get to dump. Okay. When we're bringing that stuff up, you got to get to causes and conditions. Don't tell the whole story. We don't need it. We're alcoholics. We already understand why you're where you're at. All right. So let's get to the causes and conditions in there. Okay. That is not an invitation to dump your feelings in meetings. You got one of them in your home group. They never stick on topic. They always talk about what's going on with them at the moment. Okay. If that's how you want to take your 3-4 minutes, go for it. Right. What that usually means is they are not, that they don't have enough people in their lives that knows what's going on, so they got to do it there usually. And that's, every now and again, if you're like, but here's the thing, we're not all sick on the same day, so it shouldn't be every day. But when it's all the time, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just beating a dead horse now, right? Character defects are identified, and I begin to see how they work against me. When I put my faith in the spiritual power of the program, when I trust others to teach me what I need to do to have a better life, I find that I can trust myself to do what is necessary. And that is one of the best things about it. I actually trust me now. I do. I trust myself. It's kind of nice. Been that way for a while. I trust that I'm not going to go out and drink today. I don't need beyond that. It's an intuition. And I trust my intuition. Because God may not talk directly to me, but I know this. I mean, I'm 54. And if I tell a lie, I haven't had any reason to lie in a while, but I guarantee if I told a lie right now, my tummy would hurt. Huh? When I get excited, I still get butterfly, just like when I was younger. It doesn't change. So listen to your intuition. Take some time. Give yourself a minute. We alcoholics need direction. You'll find the more you practice this, the more it'll just become a part of your daily living. You won't even think twice about it anymore. You'll just do it that way. Yeah. It's muscle memory. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a